Hey guys, what's up? It's me, PinkBar25 here, and today I am bringing you a top Thrill Dragster review. Now this is another quick video. If I had not been able to tactically relocate a shorter video, I probably wouldn't have uploaded throughout the entirety of spring break, but thank goodness for tactical relocation. Happen to have a spare desktop upstairs where I've done some performance tests, and performance has proven that I can upload videos between like 5 and 15 minutes. Don't think I'll put out any long ones though, but I don't think I'll be needing any longer videos now the Bonanza series done. So, yeah. This is what's going on so far. Top Thrill Dragster review. This is another good coaster. It's in my top 10 as you saw. Or if you've watched the Bonanza finale, you'll see how I think about this. The drop. It might be the tallest drop I've ever experienced, and it's the only drop beyond 400 feet I've ever lived the ride with. I mean, it does go straight down. It is a 90-degree drop, but it does a 270-degree rotation along the way. I personally think that if the drop was just straight down, I think it'd be better. If it was just straight down 400 plus feet, I think the ride would just be a little better when it comes to the drop category. I mean, the height and the speed of the drop and just the feeling of going straight down, twisting along the way, it's fantastic. I love the drop for what it offers. It's a solid score. I'm giving it a solid 8 out of 10 for the drop. The intensity, easiest 10 of my life. I mean, you're graying out from start to finish. From the moment the hydraulics kick in to the minute you're on the brake run, and the adrenaline rush after riding this for the first time was several minutes long until I killed it by riding Corkscrew, and I'll probably be getting a review up on that probably in the very far future. I mean, it's a perfect score. Easiest 10 of my life. This ride is pathetically easy to give a 10 for intensity. It's one of the single most intense experiences you can ever pay money to do. It's at least in coaster form. It's incredible how intense this thing is. Duration. Now, meanwhile, the intensity was the easiest 10 I've given in my life. This is the lowest score I've ever given on the duration category. Now, everyone who's heard of these type of rides, anyone who's been on these types of rides, anyone who looks at these types of rides will know it's not going to be a very long ride. For the launch to the brakes, it approximately lasts 18 seconds. Not a lot of time at all spent on this. But from start to finish, it's incredible for what it does, but this is just looking at raw duration. This is a solid, or not so solid, or very shabby 2 out of 10. Airtime. Now, this ride's not meant for airtime. It's got a 420-foot tall structure, a top head at the top connecting the upward slope to the downward spinning drop. And when the ride crests the top, there is some airtime. It's not much, and the top hat, I feel like, achieves more suspense than airtime. You do get some airtime on the top hat, but it really depends on the winds that day. If you're being met with wind resistance, you're going to slowly drift over that hat, or even roll back. But if it's like winds are blowing in your favor, or there's no wind at all, you're probably going to arch over that relatively quickly. And it's the only airtime moment on the ride as well. I don't believe there's any other moments of airtime. It just doesn't exist. And honestly, the airtime's completely... I mean, I was graying out top of the hill. I can see the park from afar. I can see Millennium Force and Iron Dragon. I was looking down. But everything around it was just gray. My central vision was just... like clear as day, but everything around it was just gray. It was crazy going over that. I can't even remember the airtime. I was just too busy graying out. And smoothness. I mean, for the most part, it's very smooth. Not kind of smooth, very smooth. There's a bit of shakiness on the launch, but if you're launching off that fast, at that high of a speed, at that rate, it can be a bit abrupt, or it can be shaky. Like it can't keep stable the whole time. It can cause a little bit of discomfort, and the brakes can also be a bit abrupt as well after falling 400 feet. But neither of those are really a big deal, and the ride I have no complaints with the ride's smoothness. None whatsoever. Restraints. Now, this, unlike a very similar model, or a clone more like it, I don't want to make that coughing sound, to Top Thrill Dragster, this one features rather comfortable and aerodynamic lap bars, found very similar to those on a nearby Intamin, Millennium Force. Now, they're not clamshell lap bars, whether they be B&M or Max, but they're the most godly, the clamshells are the most godly of all lap bars. They closely resemble T-bars. They don't have leg divots, but they're still very comfortable. I have no gripes against the restraints. They're slim, they're aerodynamic, they do their job, they're not uncomfortable, and they're soft. It's really, they're getting a 9 simply not for being a clamshell, because they don't have little leg divots to improve your comfort. So, that's basically why. It's a 9 out of 10 on the restraints there. Theming. Identifiable and noticeable. On and off the ride. That's what I'm going to call it as. I mean, this is of course themed to drag racing. The trains are drag racing cars, or drag racers, or whatever you want to call them. The launch initiation is a stoplight. The brakes have a finish line. The best element, of course, of them all, this ride is known far and wide for having a literal peanut gallery, or a bunch of bleachers where people can actually watch this thing take off. And people can watch this thing take off without having to enter the queue or even riding it whatsoever. They can just watch the thing take off and go up the top hat and come all the way back down in one place that is designated for that task. It's incredibly convenient, and they know that a lot of people are too scared to ride this, but people want to marvel at this huge innovation of technology and coaster engineering. It's an average score for decent, but not extraordinary theming. I mean, I give it above average, slightly, because theming on coasters is like good theming is few and far between, especially in America. I'm giving it a 6 out of 10 for theming. It's noticeable, it's identifiable, but nothing extraordinary. And finally, the launch. Easy 10. Powerful, fast, disorienting, and just an experience that cannot be recreated very easily at all. And, I mean, honestly, I can just imagine riding this thing front row on the launch. You're probably going to have wind in your eyes, in your hair. Everything's going to be flopping around. Your jowls and your cheeks are just going to flop everywhere. It just sounds amazing. It's probably going to be even a bigger adrenaline rush than when I rode probably like 4th or 5th row. It really just, it's incredible, the launch. It's another easy 10. It's like, there's only a few other launches like that can recreate this one. There's King Ka, there's Formula Rosa, there's probably a few other hydraulic launches that can somewhat recreate the power that it feels. There's no LSM. I mean, it's incredible, the launch here. It's great. I'm lost for words when it comes to this thing. Let's just get to the final scores. Now, I do 3 scores if you're unfamiliar with me. My total score is 57 out of 80. Out of 8 categories, worth 10 points each, it scored 57. The average score is 7 1/8 out of 10, which that's one of the higher average scores I've ever given a coaster. And my score is a personal 9 out of 10 for this thing. You should not miss this. For Midwesterners, if you stay local, this is a once-in-a-long-while experience, or even once in a lifetime. For faraway coaster enthusiasts who have to make their Hodge in order to CP, to Cedar Point, in order to complete their coaster enthusiast life, you have to be here. It's one of the best stratocoasters, if not, it is the best stratocoaster that has ever existed. And it's better than King Ka, better than Superman. It's the best stratocoaster, and I would strongly advise against missing out. Like, you do not want to miss this. Coasters like these are few and far between, and there are probably less than a dozen coasters that break the 100-mile-per-hour limit, the speed limit there. And most of them are accelerators. There's no gravity-powered coasters that are over 100 miles per hour. Fury's like 95 or something, but I don't believe Fury breaks 100. So going 100 miles per hour, this is one of the few coasters that does that. This is like King Ka, Formula Rosa, the Dompa, stuff like that. My 2 words of advice: ride this. Ride this coaster. So, if you guys have enjoyed the video, feel free to give it a like, comment, or subscribe. I hope you guys have a great insert unit of time here, because I can't dictate what you guys have a great of. And